Since this is an economic policy memo, you need to understand the two main types of economic policies that there are, and they are called monetary and fiscal policy. Let's look into monetary policy first. The central bank controls the money supply, which means that it controls how much money is going to be on the market. That means that they can control the policy interest rate, which is the rates at which commercial banks, which are banks that you and me go to, can borrow money. So this has direct impact on four things. One, market interest rate, so that are the interest rates of commercial banks. So when you take a loan, what is going to be your interest rate? Secondly, asset prices. Thirdly, expectation and confidence. And finally, the exchange rate. Now, combining the first three aspects determines the domestic aggregate demand, and the last two have an impact on net exports. If you continue up the chain, domestic aggregate demand and net export are going to affect the overall aggregate demand. And if you go even further, the aggregate demand, meaning how much is available, is going to affect domestic prices. Because if there is a lot available, then what is available is going to be cheaper. On the other hand, if there are only very scarce resources, then what is going to be available is going to be more expensive. Now, combining the domestic prices and the import prices, it has an impact on inflation. Are prices going to rise, or are prices going to go down? And now we understand why inflation is directly connected and controlled by the central banks. Fiscal policy is a lot easier to understand. Basically, there are only two fiscal tools. One, government spending, which is how the government decides to spend his money. It's going to be on healthcare, on roads, on education. And the second one is taxation. And that's just how much are you going to ask from the people. What's interesting about fiscal policy is that basically the money that you get from taxation, and by you I mean the government, is going to be reinvested through government spending most of the time. And most important thing to remember about fiscal policy is that it is government controlled.